Hi everyone, it's Paperworm. Today we are back with another flip through. Of course, I mean, what, what else am I doing on my channel lately? Nothing. So, yeah, I finished this journal like 5 minutes ago, and I was thinking would be best to do the flip through now because, hey, let me move this box. because all day long they were hammering away in the neighbor's apartment. They are. Like renovating the house, like the apartment, like the um the pipes and the electricity cables, and they have to open the walls, and it's very 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 loud. And yeah, I couldn't film it in daylight, so it's evening right now. This is why the lighting is so weird. And some people were asking me about my ring collection, and because I like to wear rings every time I make videos, right? This is it. It's just a mixture of silver rings and um, stainless steel rings, like everything that is not turning green, is in here. Yeah. So now you know. Oh, that was my ex-boyfriend's friendship ring that we had. Yeah, we had Celtic knot bands. I'm keeping this as like a memorialia. What's the word? I don't know. Whatever. Let's start with the flip through. Um, I should have taken like a mark where I left off, but I didn't. Okay. Is this in frame? Yes. Okay. So we left off here, and here I wrote with pencil because I was thinking about maybe a project where writing a whole journal just with pencils. And because back in the day when I was younger, I my friend and I in high school, we had like character journals and journals with like stories, and we would always just use pencils in them. I don't know why, because she wrote hers with pencil and she influenced me, so I kind of thought it was the most logical thing to do. I don't know. And ever since then, every time I look back to those notebooks, I'm kind of feeling the need to try this out again, to just fill an entire journal only with pencils, right? So yeah, I just wanted to see how it feels and how well it's keeping, and how dark the lead should be and whatnot. And for people who think this will not keep forever, I I never had problems with pencils. I have journals that are how old? 25 years old, and nothing changed. Like the pencil is still completely fine. So as long as no one is rubbing it or making it wet or whatever, nothing happens. So you can use a pencil. Okay, so I was watching Bridgerton, and I didn't like the second season at all because everyone knew that she was that mysterious lady who writes those newspapers. And it took away something very important that made the first season so interesting. And this lady, this actress, has the same figure as I do. So every time I see her in a dress, I can kind of imagine how I would look like in this type of dress, which Empire is my favorite type of dress. So yeah, I just love to see her. But yeah, the season wasn't that good, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. I was asking the universe, walking on the street, be like, oh, let me find some money on the street. And then I found Monopoly money. Oh, I found something today actually. Let me check my pocket from my jacket. Maybe I can show you. Oh, here it is. I found this on the street. It is like a tree, and on the back it says, family is a circle of love. Isn't this nice? Well, my family was not a circle of love, but I don't know, I just picked it up from the street and took it. Yeah, I have lots and lots of those uh, apothecary stickers from that sticker book, because I mean, I love this book. The only thing I don't like is that the stickers are sometimes not sticking that perfectly, but you know, the imagery is just too good. And then I got those stamps, lacy stamps, because I love lace, and they were on my wish list forever. And I thought, you know what, come, just do it, you know. Ignore your bank account, just buy those finally, you know. And now I'm pretty happy that I did. No regrets. Easter time. I took a copy of my shopping receipt because, well, you probably noticed, if you're not living under a rock, what is happening at the moment, and that prices are rising, especially for food and other things you need in life. And I just wanted to keep this to keep a snapshot of the current pricing of the food that I eat. This is a copy that I made with a printer because the receipts fade over time, and you know, this is why. This was my Easter dress. I wear a black dress with a white collar. Yeah, which is like my usual standard type of clothing. This was from my fairy tale book. I had this already as a child, and it fell apart and I lost it. And I was able to find the exact, like a reprint of it. It's not exactly the exact? What? Yeah, the cover is differently, but the stories and the illustrations are absolutely the same. So I was really happy. So this was basically my fairy tale princess that I had in my brain. Yeah. Apparently, as a child, I liked her colorful dress, but I like her more actually now. She looks more like a witch. Yeah. This is a quote about overthinking. Those were some tarot card decks or oracle card decks that I wanted. Someone mentioned to me that the occult tarot and the angel tarot is not like a normal tarot deck, and they are not very useful. But what I wanted to do was, I didn't want to use this as an ordinary tarot. I wanted to have the imagery and the cards, so I can use them as something to use for making a connection, you know? So apparently this has angels and this has demons, but the Baphomet is not a demon for me. So, as you have seen him in my journal multiple times. But yeah, I don't know. I never have the money, so God knows if I ever gonna buy any of those. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a dream. I forget about it next month. I have other priorities, and that's that, you know. But if I could choose one of those that I would love to buy now, it would be the Celtic Tree Oracle, I think. I kind of feel this. And then there's this Wiccan Oracle of Shadows, which I see a lot on Pinterest, but apparently it's Russian. And if anyone knows if there's an English version or with English translated cards and book, then please let me know, because this is actually the one deck that I really want. It's amazing. All these symbolism, just mwah. It looks like the perfect deck. But yeah. Got a new plant. The plant was called Olivia. And every time I get a new plant, I want to ask someone of my friend circle to name the plant because the vegetable growing wasn't going well. I had a problem with like tiny flies, and there were like hundreds. I had to get rid of everything to get rid of the pest, and I decided maybe it would be better to become like a room plant, like a house plant lady, with like a ton of house plants. Yeah, so we will see how that goes. Plants are just, I mean, I like them and they're nice to look at and they kind of refine your air that you're breathing and everything. They're cool, but they are not a replacement for Schmeek, right? And I think about her a lot and I dream about her a lot, and I'm dreaming about having a new cat, but I'm not ready in this chaos at the moment, I'm in the, I don't know. There are still plans for me to move, but I don't know when, and I don't know. I don't know, frankly, if I will ever have a new cat. I kind of think I want one, but I really don't know. Here I ripped apart my sketchbook because I was throwing away a lot of things, and the sketchbook had only like 20 filled pages. So I decided to rip the drawings out and then trash the rest, and then yeah, that's one of the drawings. It's a monster from on Gaia Online. There's like some kind of game that is really similar to a Pokemon game where you have your own monsters and you fight with them and then they get stronger and you earn rewards, and this is one of the boss monsters. It's like a tree. Yeah, I really liked that one back in the day. Oh yeah, okay, wait a second. I forgot to get something. Uh-oh. Okay. My birth control alarm was silently ringing, which I'm glad it was silent, because it would have ruined the whole video. Obviously, I would be so lazy to refilm this shit. Okay. So as you know, I sometimes tell you about that really cheap Action store that is like a household wear store, and it has also some school stationery, really cheap, and they have those 400-page notebooks, right? And I have used some of those before. There are just plain white pages, and this one in particular was teal colored. It was not black, it was teal, as you can see here. And I wanted to send this to someone. I wanted to send this to Nanaban Journals together with those stickers. But in the beginning of the pandemic, oh God, I start coughing when I hear this word. My country was not allowed to ship anything to America. So it was just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there on my shelf, And in the end, I ripped the package open and I decided to use it because it doesn't make any sense for it to rot away if I cannot send it away. So eventually gonna try again somewhere in the next years. But yeah, and then I decided to use acrylics to paint it green, and then I I used the apothecary stickers. I did cut them out very finely, and then I made a collage, and then I put tape over it. This is how it happened. This is my next journal. And I come back later. On this day I met my father, and the interesting part is that he is a narcissist, right? And he basically destroyed my life. The reason why I'm depressed as fuck is my childhood, right? And I took a break from him. I didn't talk to him for like a year or 1.5 at all. Like I ignored everything. I didn't even congratulate for birthday or Father's Day or whatever. And I randomly met him on the street in the middle of the city. And I was not afraid anymore. I was normally the victim of a narcissist is turning into a little child in front of the narcissist, like a victim position. But on this day, I felt very brave. He was standing here, I was here, and I went here in front of him. I cut off his way. I forced him to look at me, and I wasn't afraid. I didn't turn into a little child. I did let him talk for a few minutes, and he went on and on and on about himself. Like, for himself, he is like the most important thing, like, because he's like in love with himself or whatever. And then I was like an adult, and I just said, yo, I have to go. And he wanted to keep me there, he wanted to tell me more, but I just clearly said, I have stuff to do, bye. And then I walked away, and I felt so powerful. And I told this to my therapist, and he was also very proud of me, and it was really cool. So it was like a good day with success, we could say that. Something about the Baphomet. Yeah, I explained this before, but take it in. Okay. This is a sticker from those sticker sheets. Very, very pretty. Almost too pretty to use, if you ask me. It's like, I almost feel bad using them because they are so pretty. Yeah. And then I'm just writing about writing. Someone asked me about this character journal. So what the character journal is imagine you write a story, right? Or maybe you only have the fantasy of writing a story. So you have like an imaginary character. And imagine you write her or his journal. And that's it. That's a character journal. It's a fantasy journal. You make up every single day that this person is going through. And then you just write, oh, today, whatever you make up, And I was writing 30 to 38 pages a day. And I totally fucked my wrist again. And but it was so much fun, and I want to continue. But I had to take a break because of my wrist. I filled half of it. I want to finish it, yeah. So basically, this is a story. This is a story about a ninja girl who saves her favorite band's life on a concert when there's an earthquake. And then later, her parents want to marry her off. And she lives in a very harsh environmental place where it's still a thing that the parents decide, because she's a princess. She has like ice chakra, it's very rare and whatnot. Whatever, it doesn't really matter. She decides to flee into a big city where the normal people live, not outside of the ninjas. And she wants to stalk her favorite musician. The catch is that she was like hit in the head multiple times. If you saw the anime Naruto, you probably know that the characters are getting smashed against walls and whatnot, and then they stand back up because it's an anime, right? They never die. Some characters die, but you know what I mean, yeah? In my stories, everything is very brutal. They get smashed against the wall, they break their bones and ribs and everything. So she basically has concussions in her brain and doesn't know about it. She has a psychosis and she doesn't know. She believes she was abducted by aliens, and she has those reoccurring nightmares and she's going nuts. So she doesn't notice that she is turning into a psycho stalker during that story in this journal, So if I just wrote a love story about her stalking her crush and then getting with him together, it would be so boring. So instead, I'm like, I don't know if you can tell. Let me give you an example. She has different types of handwriting. Sometimes it is very like girly, and sometimes she's like scribbling like crazy when she has like nightmares and whatnot. I don't know. I don't know where, but yeah, a lot of stuff is happening here. And I love this. It's like writing a really interesting story, right? But in journal format. And someone asked me, how can you write 30 pages a day? When you write a story, your brain makes up a story that continues and continues and continues. It is not like a daily journal in your reality where you write 2 pages and you have nothing to say because you didn't leave your house all day and all you did was sleeping and working and calling grandma. You know what I mean? There's nothing to tell. There's not, sometimes you just have nothing to say. But when you make up a complete story like journal, there's no ending, you know? The only end is when you run out of ideas, right? So this is why it's so easy for me, because I'm a story writer. I type stories all day long, and if I don't type them, I write them by hand. So story writing and creating new stories is the specialty of my brain. You know, my brain is just made this way. I'm a how you say it, people call it, I think, some kind of daydreaming thing. It's a very popular term that a lot of people use without even knowing what it means, but whatever. I do some type of daydreaming, but instead of laying down in bed and daydreaming, I sit here and I type it all down, sentence by sentence, dialogue by dialogue, and I create stories and stories, hundreds and thousands of pages, you know. I created my own worlds that are so sophisticated and detailed, like the Harry Potter world, you know, like where there are their own rules and their own way of living. And yeah, I can never stop writing. Writing is basically everything I do all day long. It's not only my passion, but it's my escape from this reality, that this reality is completely empty for me. And I'm always depressed. So what I do is create my other reality. And then I live in my stories, you know? So yeah, I write all day, from the moment I wake up and have my first coffee until I go to bed. So, I mean, I do play some computer games in between, and I cook something, I go to the supermarket and I journal, but most of the time I am just writing. There are many days where I don't leave the house and I just keep on writing. You know, it's more important for me to write than leaving the house. I wouldn't say that this is like an illness. I wouldn't say this is like a compulsive writing disorder or whatever. It is just that I want to daydream more than living in reality. Yeah. I mean, I try to explain this to a doctor, like a doctor that is supposed to make you certified sick so you can tell the job center or whoever, you know, that you cannot work. And then they are asking you what you're doing all day. And I'm like, I escape in my fantasy. I'm daydreaming. Which, of course, they don't understand, right? So what I say is I survive, basically. Yeah. So yeah, that's the end. That's all, folks. Don't know why I chose the one with Jesus, but felt appropriate at that time. So my old drawings, and yeah, I didn't use that stuff yet. Don't know what, I just leave it here, you know. I just never touch it again and just leave it all here. Maybe I can put an alien on like a journal cover, but I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it just stays here forever and ever and ever. So today is the last day of April, if I'm not totally completely mistaken. Yeah. So it's the 1st of May, which means Beltane, or we have like a German tradition called we dance into the May, but we do have the actual the tree, you know, with the long stripes of colorful ribbon and stuff. So we dance around that tree actually. So we have this pagan tradition. Yeah. Anyway, so basically I'm starting this tomorrow on the 1st of May. Mm, I talk so much. I need to drink water. And I chose this woodland theme because in my witchy story where I play a role as a character, of course my element is earth. So she does, I mean, she's me, but she's also not me. She's a character. So we could say that character is using yeah, not woodland magic, but she's working with like fairies and gnomes and woodland creatures and, you know, stuff like that. So I was kind of in the mood to just do that and start the journal off with like let me grab this. With like some forest witchy kind of like imagery and stuff. This is actually here something about Beltane, and I thought it was kind of cool to start off like this. But this journal is not to be intended to be as like as I this one was really spiritual. Like I had the intention to use a lot of crystal stickers and flower imagery and deities and tarot and everything, you know, everything that goes into the witchy spiritual type of direction. It was just my goal because the journal itself was so pretty, and I wanted to make the inside pretty too. However, with this journal, this is not my goal at all. I want to be free again, free from any barriers, free from any guidelines and rules. If I want to have witchy here and on the next page Yandere, then it is how it is, you know. This will just the cover does not define what will be in the journal, you know. If I gonna remove some pages or not, I don't know. Last time I had to remove, I think, 60 pages. Then I had 340 pages left because it bulked up so much, and because this is a really cheap journal. See, you can see how this wasn't even glued properly, no? And when it bulks up, it's not holding up too well. So I don't know. We will see if I have to remove anything. If I don't remove anything, then this will be 400 pages. And that's all. Now, this was a really long video. I made this on purpose because in the past month, I made really short videos. Well, because my internet line is so fucking small. Yeah. I know. I should have changed that long time ago, but I didn't. And some people said to me, I wish you would make longer videos again. And I didn't tell you any stories about my life in the past videos, not really like intensely or anything. So now you have 30 minutes. Enjoy or not, whatever you want, you know, do whatever you want. And again, I want to thank Nanaban Journals for sending this journal to me. It was this beautiful paper blanks, but the only thing I didn't like were the clasps that I removed. And the paper was sometimes too good. It was too smooth and too silky. Sometimes the fountain pens didn't grasp the surface of the paper and therefore skipped ink, skipped writing, right? That was an issue in that journal. The paper quality was just too good to be true. So yeah, this one is really cheap. Compared, this one is 1/30th price-wise of this one. So this is really cheap, like $1, you know. So yeah. Anyway, I wish you all a very good day and a good night, whatever time it is when you're watching this. So paper worm is gone. Bye bye.